Hey everybody, and welcome to part 6 of building the game Oblation, Prince of Corruption. Now, if you aren't caught up, we're creating a game based on an author, which is a good friend of mine. This is going to be our first release under Red Fool Studio. It's going to be a classic style top-down RPG game, similar to like the old Legend of Zelda game or any other pixelated style top-down game. Now, in the story, we start as an adventurer, kind of getting ready to go on a nice quest to defeat some type of evil. Now, again, we are following a book story, so we're going to match the game as best we can. If you want to help support us, please go ahead and wishlist the game. Let me open up the wishlist page. That's going to be on Steam. It's going to be Oblation, Prince of Corruption. And then simply scroll on down and add to wishlist. Now, we have updated the game a lot, so these screenshots are a little outdated other than the title screen, so those will change pretty soon. But please go ahead and help us hit our wishlist goals. We're trying to get to 1,000 wishlists before we release in December. Now, if you also want to help the development team a little more and be also involved, you can go to our official website, redfoolstudio.com, tools and games, and locate the game Oblation to learn more. From there, you can go down and read a couple of things that you can do to help us out. And of course, be a little bit more involved, such as being on the email list. If you donate any amount to us, you'll be added to an email list where you can then go ahead and kind of help us out of voting on certain things, new features, and just overall being more connected. We have a Discord as well you can join. It's going to be at the link right here. Of course, though, if you want to get your own NPC in the game, you can also donate a specific amount to the Venmo as well, 50 or higher, and then you can help create your very own NPC in the game. Now, let's go ahead and jump in and get started with the development. So let's do a little bit of a recap of what we currently have. We'll start with the main scene. We're going to have a couple splash images here. Let's go ahead and start the game and take a look. See the splash images, credit to the author. He's also getting a royalty with the game, so he'll be supported that way as well. So here's our nice little title screen. I like the clouds moving. We might add some other stuff to this eventually, but when you first download the game and start the game, you're going to get into the first scene here. Now eventually I'll have a cutscene for when it's your first time starting the game before a save, but you always start off in this little house here, kind of gather your things, and then make your way out to start the adventure. So far, though, in the development, we've just been working on the base functionality of the player, which is probably going to be the most complex stuff. But overall, we have a nice animation for them walking around. We have the ability to use whatever weapon we're currently holding or tool in all different directions. We also added the ability to add a mana attack. So basically, this is a really cool charge attack. So if we hold it down, we can do a nice little charge attack. And each weapon and everything we hold will have a specific charge ability. We also have our health over here, our mana bar on the top right. We can also use a shield that we're currently holding as well by right-clicking on the mouse. We can also do a dash as well, which kind of just dashes us forward just a bit, using up a little bit of our mana. Now, I don't know if I like this too much. Maybe we'll use more mana when we dash, just so it's not overpowered. But overall, I think it looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and go over some of the other weapon types we have. We have a guidance staff, which kind of gives us a hint in the game where to go. We have a couple different potions we can throw. We have a healing wand and also a hammer. Now the potions, though, we did it in the last video. We added a really cool animation when we throw them. So when we hold it, it'll look like we're holding it, and when you release it, it'll throw it, and then of course turn into whatever effect that the potion is. We have the fire potion, ice potion, lightning potion, and also an evil fire potion. So far, though, I think everything looks pretty good with the potion. I think there was one more thing we needed to add to the potion, if I remember. And I think that is basically if we hit a wall with the potion. Because currently, I think it'll just go past a wall, because we never added a collision shape. So if I go right here, yep, it'll just go past walls. So what I think we'll do is we'll animate or add some kind of function that when we throw the potion, it will then smash into the wall early, okay? Because we have two ways to throw the potion. We have the short way and the long way. Now, before we get started with that, though, I'm going to drop a quick message in the chat to remind everybody to please help us out and wishlist the game. So let me do that real quick. Jump into Game World real quick. Hello and welcome, man. PM Craft GR, how you doing today? We're building the game today, doing a little more work on our project. You beat me to the opening message. Yeah, this game is going to be on mobile. I'm going to release it on Steam, and then I'm also going to release it on Android mobile devices, but I think once we hit, like, I think it's like $400 in profit from the game, I'll put it on Apple. We just need some money because to publish a game on Apple, you need to have a Mac, and I don't have a Mac yet, so I'll have to get like a mini Mac or something. But I definitely will put this game on mobile just because I think it would be kind of a fun, cute style game, and we'd get a bigger audience. So don't worry, it'll definitely be on mobile. But if you don't mind maybe helping us out by wishlisting on Steam, it'll help us get to our goals. Finish wrapping up the opening message and then we'll get started. My cat is meowing in the background. I hope I spelled wishlisting right. Oh well, let me just send it. Let me pin that message and then we'll get started. There we go. Sweet. Alright, let's see what we can do. So we need to adjust the potion throwing, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next thing, which will be, I think, the player getting hurt. So let's go into, let's see, I think it should be in components, not collectibles. Let's see, or it might be in player, yeah, fire potion. So for each potion, we need to adjust something. Well, actually, we don't need to do it for each, but we do need to do it for specifically the script for all of them. So let's see. We should have an area 2D. If we don't, we will need to add an area 2D because that will basically say, hey, if this thing hits something, then we can make it do something. So what I think I'm going to do is, let's see. We're just going to actually, yeah, we are going to have to add an area 2D. And this will just be super simple surrounding the potion. So let me go ahead and let's see. Add child node. Let's add an area 2D. Collision shape. And let's go ahead and just give it a nice simple, yeah, like a little box. Not gonna make it too big, just enough to surround like the white. Okay. Nice. And then all we gotta do is select the area 2D, go to node, and then we have to do body entered. The reason we're doing body entered instead of area entered is because if we do body entered, basically it will hit like collisions that we already have set for tiles or other characters. If we wanted to do area, we could maybe, if other things are thrown at the potion, we could make the potion break, but I think just with this, it'll be okay. So we'll do body entered. And let's go ahead, connect it to original script. And all we're gonna do to fix our little issue, we're gonna say, well, nothing, we're not gonna say anything actually, because, yeah, it should automatically do it. So we might have an issue with this, but we'll see. If a body enters, so we're just gonna have a, let's see. We wanna turn off the timer, so set that to false. So on timer timeout, so we'll go ahead, take timer, dot, I think just timeout should work. And then it should initiate everything we're doing here. Timeout. Let's see. If it doesn't like it, we might need to adjust it. Let's double check. Error. Body is never used in the function. That's okay. I think this should work though. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to 2D. We can get rid of that though if it doesn't. We'll try it with the ice potion. So let's go to game world. We do need to add an ice potion for us to collect. So, you know, instead of adding one for us to collect, I'll just put it in our default amount. So if I go to global and up to the top, we'll currently have 3 fire potion. Let's also add 3 ice potions. Let's go to 2D view, play the game. And let's see. All right, let's put that there. Now it might already break because I think it thinks we're already inside of a collision body. No, it doesn't. Okay, good. See? So now what's gonna happen is if we throw it at a wall or something, it will hit the wall and break, or it should. Let me double check it again. That looks like it worked there. Oh, we need more. Let's add a couple more just so we can test. I'm gonna add 10. Let's go ahead, try this now. Let's see. Okay, so we have our potion. No, that one didn't work. Let's see if I hold this down. No. See, what it should be doing is it should be hitting this and then being destroyed. So let's see. Yeah. It's not detecting it, so we need to go ahead and ice potion. Body entered. Let's double check. I think body, or let's see, this might need to equal true. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Because if I go to timer, Spectre, you know what? I bet I have to actually give it that. There we go. That was the issue. So it's not a value, it's a function. Let's go back here. Let's see if that fixed it. There we go. Oops. Huh, why didn't it like that? Invalid call. Is that because we are deleting it? Let's try that again. I think we're having an issue because it's deleting it. Let's try it again. So we throw the potion. It breaks it. But it doesn't like when I time it out. Invalid call, non-existent function, timeout, base timer. I think that's because it's deleting the timer. I think it's actually deleting the timer. And then it's still trying to do it. So maybe the best way to fix this would just to be to move it up. Because if it works like a Python script, it's gonna go from top to bottom. Let's go back to game world, start current scene. Let's see how we're doing. Okay. Let's go ahead with the potion. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Invalid call, timer, function, timeout, and base timer. Huh. Very strange. Body is never... This doesn't matter, because we don't care about that. And we can get rid of it like that. But this is an issue, because it's trying to find the timer, but it says it doesn't exist after we throw it. Interesting. Let's try it again. Let that load. Let's try from the bottom this time. Wow, it doesn't... I think it doesn't like it when it's too close to it. Yeah. Timer, timeout hits this. It doesn't see the timer. Why? Very strange. And we are messing with that, right? Because the far one, I think, works really well. No, it doesn't. Interesting. Okay. So, let's see. Let's see. Timer, timeout. All right. Invalid call, non-existent function, timeout, and base timer. Interesting. Maybe it's because it's already hitting timeout and it's like dually hitting it or something. What if I just do this? Let's see if that works. Kind of worked. Let's see if the far one works. Okay. That's perfect, okay. Now I don't know if I love how it looks when we throw it, because it looks like we're inside of it. I think that's a little silly, but it is like a potion, so maybe it's okay. We can always change that later, but that does fix the issue. So we need to make sure we do that for each type. So we have a bunch of other types of potions. So we have fire potion, ice potion, boom potion, evil potion. So let's start over here. We need to reopen up the ice potion. Oh, these are for the items, which are different. These were the collectibles that we made last time. Let's go ahead, open up each potion. Boom potion, evil potion, fire potion, and again, ice potion. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. We already did the ice potion, and all we added with is that area 2D. And we just connected the signal, and we should be good. So what we need to do is go ahead, right-click, again, area 2D, and then just add a collision shape. And let's go ahead, give it a new shape. Adjust it to the same what we did in the last one, which was like here and here, here. Oh, make sure we put that inside of the area 2D though. And then all you got to do is select the area 2D and body entered. Connect to the script. Perfect, and that should have a little green now. All right, we need to do that for the other ones. So let's do evil potion now. Same thing, right click. Let's add an area 2D, collision shape. And let's go ahead. Let's add it here, down here, over here, and over here. Save that, make sure you put that inside of it. And then simply go ahead, body entered. Perfect. Awesome. And it looks like we never actually edited the name because we have fire potion right there. This should be evil potion. So we can also change that to evil potion. Just so we know it's the same. Nice. Okay, and same thing should work. Okay, so now we just need, I think, just the boom potion. So let's go ahead. Area 2D. Collision shape. Give it a nice new square. And over here. Save that. Select area 2D. Body entered. Connect. Alright, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so we got it for each now. Boom potion. Yep. Okay, perfect. Alright, and that should work for everybody. Nice. Okay. Let's close each of those up. Let's see. Alright, so now the potions should work. And they should burst when they hit a wall, which is good. Can double check it again. Yep. Perfect, okay. Alright, potions looking good. I don't think we need to mess with them too much anymore. Let's see what we need to do next. Alright, as mentioned, I think what we need to do is we need to have the ability for the player to get hurt now, because we can heal them, we can, avoid stuff, but we need them to get hurt and then die and give us a game over, sending us back to main menu, okay? Or just respawn. I think respawn would be okay. So we can do that. Let's go ahead though, let me double check something real quick, and then we'll keep going. Let's see. Yep, okay. Alright, let's go ahead. Go back in the player, because the player is where we're going to have it. So, this is going to be fun. We're going to do this inside of the animated sprite 2D, because that's where our player kind of like gets initiated. So, let me find the best way to do this, because what I don't want to do is I don't want it to cut off the images of the player. So, and I really want it to like flash white. So let me try to figure out a way we can do this without screwing it up. So let's go ahead. Add child node. Color rect. The easiest way to do this would just be to cover the player with like a marker. And then we're going to select the main one. And then we're going to go to inspector. And then we go to ordering. Let's see. Oh, looks like my mic is tilting a bit. I'm going to adjust my mic for 1 second. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Should be good now. Maybe. Wow, my mic is just not having it. Let me try one more thing. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Just needed to adjust. All right. Let's get back to this though. All right. So the issue we got going on here. All right. So here's the problem. If we select this, we go to ordering or no visibility, and we do clip and draw. That works great because that'll be like a nice flash. Problem is, if we do that, then our charged stuff is also going to be kind of covered by that, if that makes sense. So if I go here to our charged stuff and I don't know, turn on, let's see, if I put this behind the player, which I want to do, and then we turn on right hand and then B sword, it's probably going to cut it off. Or if it doesn't, that's great. We can test that by just moving this out a bit. I guess it doesn't. Okay, that's really weird. Oh, you know why I think it doesn't is because we adjusted the Y value probably. So let me try one more thing, which I'm going to be worried about. It's the, let's see, it's probably going to be backhand. If we turn on B sword. Yeah, see, it's cutting it off like that, which is not what I want. So we can't necessarily do it the traditional way unless I change the layout of everything, and I don't really want to do that. So we could just flash the player, I think, or change the original color a bit, which I think might be the best option. So let's go ahead and instead of doing it this way, we'll turn off this here. Yeah, we'll just disable that way. We'll get rid of this guy. And I want to change the color. So what we could do is self-modulate, and we could just like flash it red, which is fine. Red's okay. And then we just kind of go back and forth with that. I just like how it flashes white a lot though. So I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. So let me go back to original. Maybe we could add like a shader to it or something. So let's see. Let's try going to, not texture, material. Possibly we could do this. Let's use a shader material if it lets us. I don't think it's, I think it's going to overcomplicate things if we do it this way. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't know. We could try it. It might be nice. Problem is, I don't think we can make it fade though, because I really want it to like fade. And if we fade it without the white, it's gonna look really silly. We could just keep the red. The red's okay, because we're already flashing the player a bit. But maybe let's try one more thing. Actually, let's try one more thing. Let's go to self-modulate again. Let me remove this shader we have. Nope, that was not it. There we go. Let's go into self-modulate and let's change a couple of the other values. Because maybe I can like change it a bit where it's like really white. I don't think I can though. No. That's not gonna work. Actually, there we go. We could do that and just flash it into that. Because I want it to like really brighten the player out, and I kind of do like that a bit. Oopsie. Sorry. Probably didn't like what I did. But actually, I'm okay with that. So we'll flash it to there. So what we could do is go like that and then go down. Well, go back, we could go like zoom. Yeah, that looks really good. I like that a lot. Okay. So we'll move the I value to that. So keep that at 0 for now. Alright. So another thing how we'll make this happen is we'll give it an animation player. So we'll go ahead, add child node. Let's do animation player. And we're going to create 2 animations. One is going to be not hurting, and the other will be hurting. So not hurting, we're going to go ahead, select our parent node, self-modulate, and we're going to save the current value. So we're going to save this current value here. Make sure though we have it selected. Ooh, you know what? I wonder if it won't let me do it because, oh, that's annoying. Yeah, so I don't think it'll let me change it. Or no, let's see. No, I don't think it will. Because it's already its own animation, which is quite silly. It should let me do that. It's gonna throw a wrench in our plans. Let's try some other things. I know we can do this somehow. You know what we could do is we could do it in a script instead, which is a little silly, but I think it's gonna work. Yeah, I think it's gonna work with a script. Okay, so we can't use an animation player to do this, which is a little annoying. Maybe we can though, I don't know, let's see. No, that's not gonna let me do that. Interesting. It should. That'd be really cool if it could work like that. Because what normally happens is if you select it and then go here, it gives you key values to change. But it doesn't let me change this, which is silly. Okay. So we're going to need to do this in the script instead. Normally we don't need to, but this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to change the I value to go from 0 to 10 slowly. Okay, so we're going to do that in a script. And I'm going to look up how to do that because I do not know it off the top of my head. Alright, let's see. So we need to change the I value slowly. And we're going to do it from RGB value, RGBA or RGB? RGB value from I to 0. I value to 10-point value. code. And I think we're gonna just do this. Hold on. When it equals true. Okay. Because I did this before, so we can try this again. Let's put it in our process function, and we're going to need it pretty much in the front. Herding effect. Okay. Because they can still attack and everything when this happens. I'm not really worried about that. Let's see if this works. I think it will. Okay. And let me grab my variables. And I think for now I'm gonna be, yeah, I'm just gonna put them at the top for now. Okay. You know, I think it doesn't even know what it's changing now. Yeah, because that's the problem. It's self-modulated, but we need to make it to this. So let's do that. Alright, let's see if this works. And I'm going to put it in a function later. I just want to see if it works. Well, actually, whoops. We want this to equal false. Or we can just force it to equal true. There we go. So it should only flash for like 2 seconds. Let's check if that works. No, it's not working at all. Why? We're missing something here. Let's double check. Okay. Timer remaining. No, 0.1 second is silly. It's gonna be way too fast. Let me double check. Okay. 2 seconds. Let's do 10 seconds. Nope. Did I ever set the color? No, I didn't even set the color because it's the same. That's silly. We need to set it to the highest one. So I think it is working, it's just not setting it. So you remember we need to set this to like 10. Because right now it's 1.1. I just don't know which one it's doing. It's still gonna be 10. So let's just do 10. Not sure if this is gonna work though. Wait, original color is 1. I bet this is just gonna make it invisible. Why? What in the world is happening? Flash color, flash duration. It's going way too fast. Let's try this. I don't think it's working at all, actually. Interesting. Okay. Hurting bool equals true. Oh, no, we have delta. Let's see. Flash time remaining less than equals 0.1. Flash time remaining. Is it because of this? Something's wrong here. No, that's not working here. It's lovely. I bet it's still doing something silly, because I bet, what if we bring this back to 1? Alright, what if we, I don't know, what if we change it to like 10? I bet it is working, I bet it's just not initiating. Yeah, I knew it was doing it. So it is working, it's just not changing the color to what I want it to be. So what is it changing right now? So if that one, let's double check this. So it's making it red. So if you go to self-modulate, it's not doing that one. Which one is it doing? No. Weird. Huh. I want this one to change. This one's the one that we can make it white like that. How do we do that? Okay. Honestly, we could just experiment until we get it. So no, it's not that one. Is it this one? Let's try that one. Nope, that's green. I bet this one's gonna be blue. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I knew that was blue. So it has to be the other one. So it has to be this one. It has to be. But I bet that's not going to work. Yeah. Nothing. Very strange. Why is it nothing? Because I think it's doing... It's got to be this one. Why can't I change the I value? Weird. How do we force it to change the I value? Oh, that's how. Okay. Duh. Just do it like that. Okay. This is the flash color. And let's get the original color, which I don't even know what the original color is. Let's do that. 0. It's just that. Okay. We can try it. I think it's just gonna be hashtag. Let's see if this works. So if it does, that'd be awesome. Okay, there we go. Does it go away? Yes, it does. Nice. Okay. I do kind of like that, how they get hurt like that. I think it's kind of cool because it still keeps like the purple effect. I like that a lot. Okay, perfect. Problem is, this is silly. Let's see. Okay, so, okay. Hurting needs to equal true. It needs to reset this though, because that's what I'm kind of confused about. Flash time remaining. Yeah, it needs to equal like 10 seconds. Flash cycle duration. I want it to be a little faster. 2 seconds is way too long. 0.5 maybe? Let's try it. A little too fast. It's also keeping the flash one too slow too. Why is it doing that? Let's see. Why is it keeping the other one too fast though? Let's do 0.7. That should be good. No. Interesting, okay. Let's do 3. And that is way too long too. Way too fast. Let's try that. Better, but doesn't really give me the illusion that it's flashing. 10 seconds, really long as well. Should probably only flash like 3 seconds. It needs to flash more. It needs to stay original color longer, because it's not doing that. It's like it's doing it too quickly in between, if that makes sense. Why is the half cycle? Interesting. Let us, let's see, divided by, I don't want to do that, let's do 5. Let's try this now. Better. Better. I like it a little bit better. Let's try that. I just don't think it's fast enough. If we do 2. Let's see if that works. That is totally not fast enough though. It needs to be like really fast. Maybe do half for this cycle. want it to really flash when we get hit. Perfect. Better. Better. I like that a lot better. I still think it's a little slow. Let's do 3. And then, yeah, 3 and 3 might be a good mix. Let's see how we look. There we go. That's really good. Maybe a little less for that. I think with this, it should be set. There we go. That looks like we got hit. It's lasting a little too long, I think, though. Let's do 2.5 seconds. With that, we should be good. Good. Still think it's a little long, but we can test it out. There's something here in the game world. Alright, let's just add a little thingy here. Character body 2D. Or just an area 2D. And we're just gonna call this enemy. And we're gonna give it a collision shape. Give it a nice square. Okay. And then right click, add child node, color rect. Just so we can see it. And I don't want to make it white because it'll blend in with the character. Just make it red. Put this above the character. And yeah, okay, then back in here, we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna add something to our player. Let's see, do we have a hitbox yet? I don't think we do. We have a collision shape, but I'm pretty darn sure we can't connect any signals. No. Okay, so we are gonna need a area 2D. And what's the best way we can do this? Probably just a box. Area 2D. Hit box. Let's add a collision shape. Let's see. Just gonna match it up with what we have. Does it go all the way down? Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's do that there. And there. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna say probably area entered, yeah. We're gonna change this eventually to a body entered, but for now I just want to test it out. So we're gonna say if area dot is underscore in underscore group, we're gonna go ahead and just do a simple enemy, and then we're gonna do hurting equals true. Then if we go back to our original variable, we'll set that as false. But I think we need to reset this every time we get hit, because it's not going to like that. Equals 2.5. Sweet. Okay. Then let's go back over here. We're going to try this out now. Let's see. Okay. hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if I love that. Do you guys like it, or do you think it's kind of silly? I think it looks a little silly. I know I'm going to add like a shaking effect. We can actually do that because I have a shake effect. Where's my shake effect? It's with the hammer, I think. Let's see where hammer is. Hammer. Hammer smash effect. Yeah. We'll make it a little more intense. Considering we're getting hit, we need to make it look very bad. So now if we go ahead and do it, we should actually get hit pretty hard. So, a little better, yeah, not bad. I think the purple's blending in with it and I can't see it very well. Let's change the color of that to like a green or something. Let's try that. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, it's still loading. We need to really shake that though. That is not great intensity. We need like 15. We need to noticeably be visible that we're getting hit. It's a lot better. Oh, that's just shaking it longer. That's so dumb. I don't like that at all. No. That is silly. Okay. Yeah, we need to shake like where? I think it's like intensity, power, duration. We need to shake intensity. The offset needs to increase because the offset is totally not that much. We need to really adjust the offset, which we're random ranging it by the shake intensity. But the power and duration is super long. Why is the duration? Yeah, the duration should just always be 0.5 seconds. Why is it increasing? Duration. Where is duration? What? I don't even know where duration is even taking into effect here. Unless it's just like... Yeah, what? This isn't even being used anywhere. Why is it even there? Because this is silly. What is going on with this? That makes no sense, because the power shouldn't affect the shaking. It should just be the same. Well, that's not going to work over there. Okay. Yeah, it just shakes forever. That is so silly. Why is it doing that? That is stupid. Weird. So 5 is fine. Or 3. Nope, wrong one. Okay, let's see. Barely shakes. I like the flashing, but we need it to shake, like, aggressively. So when I use the hammer, it works really well. I like the hammer shaking. But when I run into things, I can't even tell. Okay. Yeah, we're not even using the duration of it, which is silly. Doesn't make any sense. change this up a bit. Because we really want it to like shake the screen more aggressively when we get hurt compared to when we just use a base attack. Okay. We're gonna change this up a bit. Oh, I love that. Let's see if this works. Because I hated how it didn't use the duration. Okay. So now we pass in a duration as well. Or, no, we don't really need to. This is not working the way I wanted it to. Oh, come on. Well, it might work with this. That works a little better. Okay, but I want it to be really intense when we get hit. That was horrible. It like barely shakes it. So back to here. Well, we're at 3, that's probably why. So if I do 10. Wrong one again. Let's see. Let it load in, give it a minute or two. A little more, we need to increase it. Try 30. That's really good. That's really good. See, that was way more like noticeably we got hit. That's what I wanted. Okay. And I do like the flash. I think it's really interesting looking. I like that a lot. Okay, perfect. Works good. Okay, but now we need to minus health, which can be done pretty easily. And we're going to clean up the code after we finish everything with the player, because this is enormous and disgusting looking. So we're going to make sure to adjust it, clean it up. I just want to get basically all the base functionalities done, which we're very close. We just need to add the game over, and then I think we could do like a healing thing, but overall though, this getting hurt thing is the biggest deal, and just being able to get like a game over screen. Okay, so let's go ahead. We hit an enemy. Oh, well, there's another part of this that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, is if we are consistently inside of an enemy. If that makes sense. But first, we'll go ahead, though, and minus our health, which is a global value. So global dot current health minus equals 1. Okay. So let's see. Yep, health goes down now. Ignore the Y scaling of this. Right now it doesn't matter. But what I want to happen is if I'm still inside the enemy box, we still need to continuously get hit. So there's a couple ways we can do that. We can either keep track of being inside based on the inner boxes. Now there's a problem with that though, is because if we want the enemies to go across from each other, we can't do that because they're going to be overlapping and causing issues. But I actually don't know if that matters necessarily, because I don't know if that necessarily matters. Let's think about this for a second. So if we're inside an enemy box and we leave an enemy box, okay, so we could do like a bunch of like if we're inside an enemy box basically, and if we leave one, possibly we could do like if you leave and then if you enter, that might work. But there's probably a better way we could do that, because my worry is that if we're inside 2 enemy boxes, so like if we consistently stay within an enemy box, we're gonna have an issue. We need to continuously get hit when we're standing inside of it. So what we could do, this is like the easy way we could do this. My problem is though, let's see, we could create a bool for that. That just might cause us issues later on, but for now maybe it'll be okay. Let's just do inside enemy. That'll be a tight bool, and we're going to equal that to false. Okay. And then when we leave it though, so if we go back to player, or hitbox, area exited though, connected, basically equal that to false. This is the easy way to do it, and it could cause us issues in the future, to be honest. Well, actually, whoops, we don't want to do any box. We need to make sure it's an enemy box. But overlapping issues will be a cause to this. Okay. But we might not have to deal with that, at least for a long time. And we can always adjust it later. But anyway, let's go ahead though, and let's put this inside our process function, and we're going to do if hurting equals true, and then we're also going to say or parentheses, oops, let's say hurting false, because we know it already ended, and inside enemy equals true. Perfect. So that should continue it. Let's see if it works. And again, this is like a temporary solution because there is going to be an issue when we have the overlapping bodies. So down the road we'll have to adjust it, but for now I think it'll be okay. So we are inside the enemy box, and there you go. So you're not continuing. Why though? We never left it. Maybe I never equaled it to true in the other one. Inside enemy, true. Inside enemy, false. I never exited it, did I? Oh, you know why it's doing that? It's because it's not adding the time. Because it's only adding a time once. Now, I don't know why the heck it's doing that to begin with. That's super silly. Let's double check it. Let's see. Yeah, because the flash time remaining isn't doing that. So we could add an if statement for it, basically saying if these two are true, then we do that once, and if it equals 0. But again, that's sloppy. But considering how we did this, that's okay, because we're going to clean it up eventually. So again, we'll just do a simple if, and we're going to have that value in. If flash time remaining is, let's just say, yeah, less than or equal to 0.0. And we need to add a bunch of ands for this chunk. And then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna basically add more time to it. So flash time remaining equals 2.5. That should fix the issue. We can try it now. Let's see. So we get hit, we hang out, we get hit, but it's not reinitiating the shake, but it is reinitiating the flash. Again, to reinitiate the shake, all we gotta do is just take the shake and add it to that one if statement. There we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead, try this again. All right, so now we go hang out in the enemy box. There we go. See, we continuously get hurt. And then if we walk out of it, well, that's not good. It should go back to normal. Let's see why it did that. If hurting. Interesting. Why are we stopping on it? I wonder if that's just because, let's see. If that's just because we originally didn't want to do it that way. So if I go run into it. No way. Is that just luck of the draw? That was weird. Maybe it was just luck of the draw. Well, we can force it to basically be back to normal though, when we're not hurting. That's what's happening. See? Okay. I think we're in, like, are we just going like that? Weird. Okay, so it's when it's not continuing it. I wonder why it's doing that. Okay, let's double check this. When we leave it, inside enemy equals false, okay. Oh, well, we need to reinitiate that hurting equals true. That's the problem. And again, this is just a robust way to do this. We're probably not going to keep it because we're going to get layering issues where people can like cheat and find ways to not get hurt by enemies. So we stand in it and we walk out. It should go away. Yep. Perfect. Nice. Okay. Looks good there. All right. So we can get hurt, but we can't die yet. We need to get a game over. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, first thing we need to do is like freeze the player when we get a game over. So, let's see. We need to initiate game over on two forms. We don't want to flash anymore when we're getting a game over. So we'll have to turn that off. And we don't want to move. We know we can force 0 movement when we are pretty much, what is it? We can force 0 movement when we're in the UI. So let's go to global real quick. It's probably going to be the easiest way we can do this. We need a variable for game over. I don't think we ever added one. That's okay. We'll add it. Game over. And we need to reset that as well. And a reset function. Okay, so if game over happens, then we don't want to do any of this. We need to know, make sure we have 0 or less health. So what we do want to do, say if global dot game over, no, if global dot current health is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to do again global dot game over equals true. Okay. And we're going to also have to do, we don't want to do any of this over and over again though if we're at that. So annoyingly, we're going to have to do global again. Well, first let's grab this and put it in the other one. So we're going to take that and go to entered, which is over here. There we go. Okay, back to where we were. And actually, another thing what we'll do is initiate it. So we could do global dot, I think it's like in UI, current UI, in UI, okay. We need to add that also because that's already enabled to freeze the player once they're in the UI, which of course we're going to do the same thing. We're going to freeze the player once they're in the game over state. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Right here, stick it up. Let's see. There it is. Okay. All right, but we don't want all this other junk to keep going on. So we're gonna take game over variable and paste that in. Do an and we're gonna say does not equal true. We could just do equals false though, it doesn't really matter. I think it looks better. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we'll just parenthesis it. Again, this is robust, not the best way to do it. That's okay. We're gonna clean it up after we get all this done. And again, we're gonna do the same thing here. This is robust, very ugly, but it's okay. Let me double check I added the true to that bottom one. I did not. Okay, perfect. All right, next up, what do we got? What do we got? Okay, we freeze the player when that happens. So we could try and test that out. Make sure it's not going to keep hurting them. Let's go ahead. Let's jump in there so we keep getting hurt until we run out of health. Well, it stopped running out of health. What is our health currently set to? Why are we not losing health still? Oh, you know why? It's because in this one, we're not minusing our current health. Yeah, we need to minus current health. So again, global dot current health minus equals 1. Okay, back to 2D. Start current game. And let's go ahead, just stand in here until we run out of health. What we're doing is we're just making sure that we can't move around anymore. We also might need to force the game over animation. So there we go. Okay, we can't move around. That's great. We can still click stuff. That's okay. But overall, that's great. Well, never mind. Oh, you know why I did that? It's because it turns off the UI when we go in there. So it still works, but we need to force a panel to open up when we're in game over state. So, all right. But we'll continue on real quick. We need to create a little game over animation for our player. So let's find player animation, and there's a little cool animation I like to use with the asset pack we have. Let's make sure we have it here. And we're just gonna call it dead. For dead, we're gonna go ahead, select the animation sprites we wanna use, which are gonna be in custom items. Maybe not, in characters. There we go. And yep, so that's gonna be the original character later on once we get our mask, like in the story. But for now, we're gonna be starting off in our starting character over here. But let's do, I think it's 16 by 16. And I'm gonna do this one where he kind of like jumps in the air and he lands on the ground. So let's see, if we go, I think that'd be kind of funny. What's that? So we jump and then we land. So that'll be like our game over state. Kind of like fall on the ground. So we're gonna go ahead, jump in the air, basically be like, oh no, and then boom, on the ground. Game over. Nice, sweet, and simple. And again, we might change this down the road, but I think it'll be pretty cool. At least for what we got. Okay, so we have dead. Let's go ahead. And again, we need to initiate that anytime we need to. I think we have a sprite for that. Yes, we do. We called it animated sprite. So if game over is true, we're gonna paste that. Dot play. And we're looking for dead. We need to do the same thing. Over here. There we go. And then we need to turn off the current buttons and stuff we have. So we don't want to see any of this stuff anymore, which we should be able to do if we turn off, yeah, buttons and hotbar. Let's see, game UI, yeah. And honestly, probably everything else too. Yeah, we're gonna turn off everything. Bag stuff, okay, we need to turn off all of those when we die. So where's the process function? Process function. Here we go. Okay. Okay. And we're just gonna call this game over stuff. Nice and simple. Okay. And all we're gonna do is say if global dot game over equals true, then we're going to simply go ahead and we are going to turn everything off. So let's see, yeah, hotbar buttons dot visible false. We're going to turn off the game UI. We're going to turn off the staff message, and we're going to turn off bag stuff. Now some of these were already going to be turned off anyway, but I'm just going to do it like this just in case. Perfect. Okay. So everything off. What do we need now? Now we need to go ahead and we're going to have to create like a panel. But for now, I just want to make sure that works and we can't keep playing animations because I have a feeling what's going to happen is we're going to do this and we're going to get the wrong starting one. Let me put idle back to default, start current game. Okay, So we walk over here, we stand in the enemy until we die, and then we're gonna go ahead and let's see. Okay, good. But can we move around? We can't. Perfect. Okay, so that's gonna be our dead animation. And I think what will be kind of cool is if we fade the screen out and have a nice like darken fade appear with the big text of like game over or just some other text we want to use. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for some other like game over type of text. But for now, I think we're gonna go ahead, create that new panel. Let's see, canvas layer, game over, and again, panel, and we're gonna give it a nice big screen. Okay. Yeah. You know, better yet, maybe we could even darken it out entirely. So, yeah, to do that, we're going to use the color rect then. Okay. And I'm going to stretch it out a little bit more, just in case we change certain things. Okay. And from the beginning, it'll be visible like that. We're also going to give it some text, and we're going to use the same text as the title screen because I think that would be kind of cool. We could also change it though, it kind of just depends on what you want to do. So let's go ahead and give it a label, and boop-a-doo, about like there. Just put game over. And let's see, label settings, center everything up. Let's find the font. I think it was this one. No, it was the dragon one. Perfect. Okay, and we're gonna make this red because it's the bad text. Let's increase the size by like, I don't even know, maybe like 100. We could go bigger. 20. Yeah, 120 is okay. Cool. Okay. Maybe even a little bigger. That's kind of small, I feel like, for a game over. 150. Nice. Okay. And then we need some buttons too. So let's call this background. The buttons we're going to use are probably going to be in the bag. And which page is it? Settings page has some good buttons. We're going to do the respond button. I'm going to put that in there. Perfect. Again, I don't like the text, but we're going to find a better text for that. So we're going to go ahead. I still want to be able to see the player in the middle. We're going to have respawn. And then we're going to have menu button as well. Okay. Menu button. Okay. Let's change that name up a bit to menu. Perfect. Okay. And eventually we'll add the functions for this. But I think for now, we'll keep it as is. Like, we could add a little button for it just to, like, respawn us into the game. But we're going to have a specific one for that. For, like, taking us to where we want to be. So, yeah. For now, I think we'll do it like this. Okay. And we need to give it an animation, because this is sloppy. You know what, too? We need to put all of this in its own node. So animation player, node 2D. Make sure we're adding that in the right one. Okay. game over page. And we're going to take all this stuff, put it right in there. Okay, in the animation, we're going to have idle, which is going to be the regular one. In idle, most important thing we're going to do is turn everything off. So let's go ahead and turn everything off for now. Ooh, you know what? What if we just turn off the main one? So, yeah, we'll just turn off everything from there. Visibility. Save that. Okay. And then, what we're going to do, we do need to save the value of this, though, because I need it to stay invisible. Okay. Honestly, we need everything to stay invisible. Okay, everything is going to be... Well, it can all be visible, I guess, but we probably need to make it... No, we're going to have to make it invisible, except for the background. Okay, so we have the background color. We need to make that also invisible. Well, it doesn't really matter, actually. Okay, but the other ones do, so we do need to make these invisible. And probably not clear, too. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead. Visibility. And we're going to save, first off, invisible. The modulate of it, we're going to go ahead. Save the invisibility modulate. Same thing for this guy. Yep. Visibility turned off. Modulate value to nothing. Same thing for this one. Turned off. And then modulate color to nothing. Okay, perfect. Alright, so now we need the actual animation for game over. So game over. Alright, game over. Once this starts, then what we're going to do, we're going to turn this on. We are going to take about 2 seconds to make the whole thing invisible. Or to visible it. Take the background, and then we're going to increase that up to here. And let's see. So we need to make this all the way down. And honestly, we're probably going to have to make that be a little faster. Because look, if we hit play, it'll darken the screen out. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead. Once we get to the dark part here, oh, we got to make everything invisible. Yeah, I don't think we should make the other things. We could make them fade in, but I feel like it doesn't matter. Though. Yeah, we'll make it fade in. Fading in looks kind of cool. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Save that same value. And then we're going to go to the 1 second mark. Nope. 1 second mark. Modulate, save. Again, same value. Perfect. Okay, same thing over here. Save the value there. Go to the 1 second mark. Save it. Same thing for here. Save the 1 second mark. Go to 1 here. Okay, sweet. Okay, now let's go to like, I don't know, 1.5 and make all this stuff visible. So we'll go ahead, make that visible. Oh, you know what? I bet. I have an idea. Okay, well first off we gotta turn on. Then we do that. And then at 1.5, we make it completely visible. And then we do this one. And what do we do? Make it visible. Okay, 1.5. We increase it. Let's see, yeah. Perfect. Last one. Why did that not save? That's lovely. Okay, turns it on. 1.5. We need to save the value. But I guarantee that's not going to save it. No, it did. Okay, last one. Let's go to 0. Make this one visible. Nice. Save modulate value. And then we're going to go ahead. 1.5. Increase this a bit to there. Okay, sweet. So there we go. It'll fade and open it up. And our player will be in the middle. And all the background stuff will turn off as well. Nice, okay. Sweet. And let's make sure that on idle though, nothing happens. Perfect, game over. Everything happens. Okay, nice. Save that change. Let's go back to here. And all right, now we just gotta play the animation on game over. And honestly, to play it one time, I think the best way to do this will be to do it on initial. Let me play the dead animation. So we're gonna go ahead. Dot play. Game over. And then we're gonna do the same thing if we get hit on dead as well. And that should work. Again, pretty robust way to do it, but it will work. Should work. Let's see if this works. Okay, we get hit. One more time. Well, we can't see the player though. That's not good. I want to see the player be sad on the ground. So, to do that, the best way to do it would probably be to just force it to be a crazy Y position. Or, better yet, we put this all above the player's stuff. To be fair, that probably will be a better option. So if I go ahead and take game over and just put it above our animation. Now if I go ahead, this should work. Whoopsie, wrong one. Okay. With this, it should work, I think. Let's see. Let me see if I can get some wish lists, guys. Come on. Use your wish list in the game. Use wish list the game. Okay, but we still can't see the player. Now, I think the reason it's doing that is because we are is still not above the UI. That's rude. How do we figure that out? Okay, let's see. That's still not gonna work, and I did like it below. Okay, so we need to force the player to be above. Now, what we could do is we could adjust it, or maybe even remove the player and create another animation of them. Basically start once it happens. Like, we take away the original player and we put one directly in their place inside of the canvas layer instead. That makes sense. We could do that. Now that kind of is robust. I don't love it, but it might work really well. Let's try it. So we're gonna make another animated strike 2 inside the game over animation. And we just need to make sure we put it above the background. We need to match up the size. 4, okay. Well, it might even be bigger than 4 because of this is. No, I think it's fine if it's 4. Okay, and what we're gonna do here is create a simple animation. Yeah, default's fine. We just want to play it basically. And, well, that is totally not. Why is it doing that? No. Jump up. There we go. And texture, nearest. Okay. So it's gonna play this basically. And we're gonna make the original character invisible. That should be a nice workaround. To do it though, we need to, we'll just say game over anim sprite. Okay. We will though go ahead and play it like this. Then this equals false. Perfect. So we're gonna like trick it basically. And that should work, I think. Let's try it. Okay, so we get hit. Well, that's a problem because it's not in the right spot. That's annoying. I think. Yeah, because we need to center it. Okay. What we could do is what we're gonna do. Dot global position equals animated sprite. Dot global position. Perfect. This will help it like force it to be in the same position. try it out now. And we'll probably give this a specific path, so we have to keep calling the path every time. So that's going to get a little obnoxious. Okay. Yeah. Dang. Weird. We're getting closer. We just needed that to be in the middle. I wonder why it's doing... Maybe that's because the camera's shaking, you know? Maybe we can force it to only shake if it's the other way around. If that makes sense. So, let's adjust. Because I think it's offsetting it, which is the reason why it's all the way over there. Because I guarantee if we do it again, it's going to be somewhere else. So let's hit, there we go. I bet we're going to be somewhere else. Yeah, we're a little bit different. Or maybe not. Maybe we're not. Interesting. Okay, so global position. Oh, well, that is also a reason, because I never finished. I don't know why I didn't get an error there. That's probably also why. It's silly. Okay, weird. Did I do that also for the other one? Let me double check. Ooh, can't see. No, I didn't. Okay. Huh. Funny. Why is it not matching it with it? Animated sprite global position. Interesting. Let's try it again. If that doesn't work, we're gonna have to force it to be above everything. Maybe we can force it to be on parent level or something. Yeah, it still forces it over there. Weird. So, try it again. But we're gonna turn this off. Same thing, turn that off. Okay, so what we could do instead, let's see. We can test it too. If we turn that on, or better yet, turn you off, turn this on, play. So we still want the player to be above it. Now let me see. No, top level's not gonna do it. No. Interesting. What if No. No fun. What if I just increase the Z value? If I increase it a lot. No. It's because we're still working with the camera. So, alternatively, what we could do is we could create a background for just the player. But then we have to make sure the player is always above everything else. And that is not going to look nice. So let's go back there. Okay. So we're getting closer to making the other thing work. But we need it to adjust in the middle. So how can we do that? I wonder why it's changing our position, because currently it should work. It's just moving it a lot to the left. So what if we bring it back to what it was? We turn back on the player. What did I change here? Oh, I changed that, right? What if we turn off the camera shake? Because I think the camera shake is causing the issue. So maybe on our last hit we don't have the shake effect. or we force it to be done before we can do it. So what if we remove the camera shake and we try it? That might fix it. So it's still, for some very strange reason, thinks we're on the left. So it's not the camera shake, which is good, because I didn't want to have to remove that. I like the camera shake. What if we... Let's go back to where we were. Let's double check some things. Okay. So we're making game over animation sprite dot global position equaling our animated sprite dot global position. But to be fair, we are moving it itself. So what if we just do that? That might actually work better. Let's try that. Maybe that'll work. Nope, I gotta make sure I'm in the game world. With that, we should be set. No, why is it still doing that? It still keeps moving it over. It's super silly. Weird. Weird. I wonder if we're still in the center though. That's the other thing. It's like, are we actually... Because maybe I just need to move the X value over a bit. I just don't get why it's pushing it to the left. Something funky is going on here. So we're here. The global positioning is not relative to it for some reason. Interesting, because it should move that to the same X and Y position as that, which it's already there. But the problem is I need it to move in the middle. What we could do is just force it to be in the middle. My only worry is if we don't do it like that, but I think it actually might be okay. So what if we just take it, put a layer right there, and then we try it. That might work. Okay. That's what the player is. A little bit more to the left and down. That might work. I think the fade needs to be way less. The game over is way too quick. But I think it is going to work like this, which is fine. Yeah, the entirety of this thing needs to be like 3 seconds. And then the background color needs to stretch to that. Let's see if this works. Maybe a little faster, but it's not bad. But everything else needs to move over though. Let's see if this works. Okay, I want to be directly in the center of this block. Somewhat. It's not bad. It's really not bad. Maybe a little gray though. I feel like black is a little too dark. Or I don't know, maybe we just darken it. It needs to go down a little bit though. Just a little bit. Nice. Okay. Now let's turn that off. I think we are going to have to make it a little less. A little lower, but not bad. Let's see how this looks. Not bad. I still think it needs to be longer though. Not the animation, but this thing. I think the game over screen needs to be like 4 seconds long. Let's see if that looks better. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't hate it, I don't love it. I think that's okay. For now, I think that's pretty good. Okay. So we can die in the game. That's good. Maybe just for like a quick like reset button though. We could create a game over script. Eventually we'll add specific functions in here. Oh no, where did I put that? Oh, is that going to be in components? Where did I save this? It's in player. Where in player? Player, game over page, components player, okay. Yeah, no, we don't want to put that in there. We want to put that in the scripts somewhere. And then in UI, probably. Game over page and UI. Perfect. Nice. Okay, but what we're going to do here is just do a respawn, I think. Well, we can do two functions, I guess. The respawn button. Yeah. We'll just do the respawn button for now. Okay. And we're just going to run the global dot restart global stats, and then get underscore tree dot reload current scene. That'll go ahead and just kind of start everything a bit. Okay, looks good, looks good. Nice. Now, if we start this, maybe we can actually do some cool stuff. Okay, fades out. Can't hit the button. That's because it doesn't. That's why. Okay, let's go back to player. Where's the buttons? Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. Let's just adjust it to the size of the button. Same thing to the other one. Perfect. Okay. And that actually is an issue because that is inside everything right now. So we go into our bag. I think. Where is it? Yeah, we never adjusted these ones. Let's just do that before I forget. And it drives me crazy. Okay. Nice. Love it. All right, looks good there. Sweet. Let's turn off the bag though. Okay. One more. Oh, come on. I saved that. There we go. All right, let's see if this works. Okay. Everything's still set up. Okay. I really do like this. I think this looks really cool though. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. Nice, look at that. Well, that's silly. I wonder why that happened. Oh, you know why? I think it's because we're resetting the mana to something that's not the original. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Because I think if I respawn... Yeah, that's why. But our health goes back up. So we can double check that actually. I think our mana is at like 100. Yeah. We need to reset that at 100. Yeah. To be fair though, I think when we respawn, it would be kind of cool if we could like start at 0. It'd be kind of nice. But overall, I think our game over one looks pretty good. Okay. Now I'm trying to think what the next thing is we need to do. I don't know if I'm going to get to that in this stream. I'm probably going to have to close out, and then we'll work on that next, probably later tonight, if I got the time for it. But I think it looks really good. I like the game over. I like the flashing effect. I think this looks great. That's really nice. Nice. Okay. But yeah. Let's think about this. Okay, so next up, what do we need to do next? We got the player moving. I think we need to do the cleanup. There only is really one. We could do the money. Well, there's like little things we could do. We could add the money system in. I think I'm gonna put a little coin counter over here. Something where we collect hearts on the go, because the wand is our main healing thing. So like if we die real quick or get hurt, we can use mana from the wand to heal us. Yeah, but I think that's a little cheesy. We need to use way more mana, I think, when we use that, because that is going to be really overpowering. Let me go to that real quick. Let me just boost that before I forget. Oh, we could also get rid of all this. We'll do this on the cleanup. We'll get rid of that on the cleanup. But going back to the wand, though, let's see where that is. Heal effect. Let me double check that. Yeah, wand is 40. Let's see, mana hit. I think we had to do that in a weird way, if I remember. Let me double check that. 30. Yeah, we did change that for the wand. We need to do like, honestly, like 50 probably. 30 is not enough for that. Oh, 30 is good for everything else. Oopsie, I changed it wrong way. Yeah, but the wand, definitely 50. And we minus 50 from it as well. Because we don't want to be too overpowering with the healing ability. So now, if we go back in, we should have a pretty solid healing power. So now if we go ahead, yeah, it uses like 50, which is really good because I shouldn't be able to spam that. Maybe even 60. Honestly, I think 60 is going to be better. Even 72. Because I don't want to spam it. I think spamming it is going to be really cheap. Yeah. Well, we'll adjust it later, but I think 50 for now is okay. So far, though, it does look really cool. Let me know, though, guys, if you want me to add or change anything. I think it's pretty cool, though. Nice. Okay. Well, just to recap, though, for everybody who joined, who missed the beginning, this is building Oblation. This is a top-down style RPG game. It's actually based off a book that we're collaborating with. It's an author, Seth Witherow, who wrote the book Oblation, Prince of Corruption. Really check out the book, though. It's a really cool story. But please, please, please wishlist the game, though, so you can help us out. The page is going to look something like this. Let me jump to it. It's going to be here. We updated some of the artwork. So go ahead, navigate to the page, and please wishlist the game. We're trying to get 1,000 wishlists before we publish this December. We're getting pretty close. Also, if you want to be a little more part of the development, I also have a page on the main website, redfoolstudio.com, tools and games, and then Oblation info at this page here. If you scroll on down, you can donate to the development to be kind of part of it. Any amount will put you on an email list to be a part of like future voting. And then of course, if you want a custom NPC in the game, it's $50 or more. Any $50 amount though will start going ahead and helping you create that NPC so you can be part of the game. And of course, any amount you guys donate to us, we will add you to the credits of the game as well. So again, I hope you at least wishlist for us though to help us out. But so far, the development is going really well. we are pretty much wrapping up all the character functionalities. So after we do a big cleanup and then add a little bit more small things to the character features, we can then go ahead and start creating the world around the player. I'm trying to stream at least twice a day, so I'll probably be back on later tonight though. So please subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys next time.